Had to do it. The 90s are back. Mech, Fran, let's go, go. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes we are legends.
Slash, universal with the vision. X told me get him, so I promise I'ma hit him. Started first class, so I'm leading every mission. Telepathic state smitten, beating races for a living. When I say it's on site, put the laser to your fitting. When I play Darwinism, they get bodied by the fittest. Grizzly with the hands that try to have me admitted, but I was too ill, now they calling me the sickest. Slash, Gene Splice will show you how to see red during family fights. This divisor, I will knock out your life. 2020, you can view me in mind. Going to war for the core, about to go spin the block on Genosha. Always stay woke, if my eyes were shown it. Take off the shade, summer race, get you broken.
I'm a little cynical civilian, trying to put me in the mode of the villain. And then wonder how I grow so resilient. Hit me with a tank, still sitting in my brilliance. Try to be a saint, but I tolerate affliction. Breaking the restraints, so I follow with conviction. Never shoot blanks, red beam with a distance. Spreading like paint, jet stream, burning crimson. I'm Bishop, I be stepping on top of your squares for the mischief. Pawns better battle with pairs, cause I'm gifted. I don't follow patterns of the X, I'm different. Got a trigger finger for the next competition. Yeah, did I mention, if I'm in your timeline, something about to be missing. Try to be division, we're fixing up the paradigm. I don't need to count on your assistance. Yeah.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes we are legends.
Blue armor like a birthday candle. Don't ask if I'm devil or a man. I'm a force of nature in a form that you can't handle. What you think BAM stands for, huh? Look, I've been bruised and bloodied and bashed. Got my moves in your brain, but there's no thought faster than action. Hands up a little bit strange, doesn't mean you can't catch them. Never personal, kid. Not the first to be worse than me. Yet every turn do you think that I'm not the one with the curse of me? But you don't know from adversity. The streets were unkind to me. People, the demons I see in the night with their piety serves not a thing but propriety. Guess they should know about the darkness inside of me.
No potential in my his connect is kinetic. Roll with aces when loose in my section. I've been a wild card, ain't no playoff projection. No playoff projection, these players pathetic. I make you regret a playing. Bo juice will be stepping, I'm stepping in. Like inside of my mind, I can't let you win. You a smoking and bang in my second hand. And if we call a spade, then I'm in the field making major plays. My shorty and roll, but game is game. Especially when you they save and flame. You must be super stupid to confuse it. I'm up the crew and moving like a unit. I'm not a human, little tool can prove it. We teach this mutant music like a movement.
It's the Big Blue, I'm an NYG, the grade A finna be solid NYC. She see the blue face, she like Ben Ike. She step to my head blue when she see these feeds. Like why? I really think they hate your boy, so they destroy him. Cool, but this ain't for joy. Let's make some noise. That's it, I'll erase your boy. I'm in tune, lot of style, call me nature boy. My instinct and depth is the role that I play, but don't think it's a mess and control all the way. If the stress come my way, then I'm locked in the G code. Motionless, I'm unlocking the beast mode.
Metal for metal with metal is mental metal with some heat on the side. It's unsettling. Now he an Iron Man. Who the metal? No F, I'm an Iron Man. What is this madness? Think you messing with big madness? Flow Mercury, push or pull, it's a magnet. Put the heat on your dog. Now he mad. He can go and play fetch with his cat. We'll get rid of our tearing the script, scribbling against the R, throwing darts, thinking we hiding our hand when we got. We'll get it out of your body, brotherhood over a copy. Keep at the sloppy magneto, we'll catch your body. Ain't no white sisters.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes we are legends.
You gotta find your work. Then when you tune into the movement, it's just firework. It took a while to work. Now embracing this my family of quirks. You set the one and then it's gone, get it poppin' like you swallowing perks. Don't get a bright idea, leave you bright eyed with the bright light. Mess with the boys, you be seeing starlight. Throw you in the sun, now you sparkle like a twilight. All the colors on me, now they tune in for the highlight. Whoa, this ain't nothing new to me. Wipe your squad, celebrate, it's Jubilee. No hyperbole, ain't no line. When it comes to the squad, I light up the sky.
That cloud in the sky, soft to the touch and the sweetest goodbye. But don't let her cry, the story could turn to a Noah's Ark. Don't wind me up, I ain't fit to pull worlds apart. Cause I'm a vortex with the Lord, yes. Any X-Men of mine knowing me, they've been blessed. Address, mere respect, not with static. Protecting the peace, systematic, climatic. A god amongst men. WWJD, y'all cannot play me. Higher than hierarchies go. Crown on black crown, as white as the snow. So what kind of queen? One that's forever. Whether the storm power losses or never. You can talk your talk. The omega is the last word. What's the forecast? I am her.
I'm the taker of feeder, I want it, I grab it like follow the leader. I'm playing the gambit, my foe's gonna go sleep away, running through the mind all day. Don't wanna become my prey, keep out of my face, okay? I'm the anti-hero, impartial. Got perfect form, but these hands can be harmful. Tap of my finger, I can't help but startle. You're powerless, look at me, I'm the marvel. Ooh, got all that strength in my clutch. Ooh, gonna leave you with a crutch. Ooh, they say I'm doing too much. Ooh, yeah, you can look, but don't touch. Ooh.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes, it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes, we are legend. I'm having dreams, they wake me at night. I'm strapped to machines, I can't even fight. The phoenix is burning, she's saving my life. And she might wanna come be my baby tonight, but she can't. She belongs to another. Then I'm recruited by the professor. But the team isn't really my steez. My animal nature, it caused me to flee. To get the truth about what happened to me. Adamantium, it's all in my genes. Animal instinct, ignoring the laws. Sense of smell about as sharp as my claws. Don't get me started, I'm a lethal weapon. Anyone stepping, I slice them in sections. Canadian's finest, but I'm only home. Always repping, always X-Men.
Yeah. What up, y'all? Yeah, we are here. We back. Teek, what's good, man? We are here with for another episode of X-Pod 97. It's Mega Ran, it's Marcos, and our special guest, Teek Hall, in the building.
Yeah.
What up? So we've been talking. We're just keeping the excitement and the magic going on the show. With like, now that the season's over, there's so much more X-Men content. So there's always something new or old to talk about, or something that's new to us. So luckily we have something new to chat. But first, let's properly introduce our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody. I want you to make some noise for a rapper. Two-time now Arizona Rapper of the Year. My tag partner on so many different projects. You've probably seen us all over the place at wrestling events, on songs everywhere. So if you could make some noise, all rise for the villain, Teek Hall, in the building. What up?
What up, everybody? Thanks for having me on the show today. What up, Marcos? Mega Ran.
What up?
Last time I seen Marcos was when we was running around Philly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good times. So yeah, man, we I'm sure we'll wind up into some wrestling chat, because we always do every single episode. But first, tell the people how X-Men became like a part of your life. Like, what's your X-Men origin story?
I mean, it's probably X-Men, the animated series, like most people growing up. I think I was probably into the comics a little bit before the cartoon, because I remember seeing like the burgundy and gold like Wolverine and stuff like that color costume, not the X-Men colors, and seeing like the Wolverine like color swap one that was in like the Young Bloods comics or stuff like that. So I was doing some comic booking early on, in the penny bins and stuff like that, the cheap comics and stuff like that. And that's where a lot of the old like X-Men or Marvel comics would be at. Because I wouldn't say it was like probably super popular before the cartoon, not overall, but just for people like around my age, the cartoon was ushering that in. And I don't really remember if X-Men was before Batman, the animated series, or I think it was before Spider-Man, but I'm not sure if it was before Batman, but I just know that
it was before Spider-Man, but
it was
around the time of Batman, I think either a year apart or the same year.
I think
and I was
92 is the same year. 92 was a great year for animation. I think that's when like Fox and these other folks started picking up new
right.
animated shows
And they
and
were
one.
running both of those. Fox was running Batman and X-Men. So I remember like coming home from school or, like watching those back to back on Fox and stuff like that. So it was definitely big for getting me involved in it. And even at a young age, like I appreciated how it didn't like really, it wasn't a kid's show. Like it was for us, but it didn't talk down to us. Like I appreciated the darker tones or the like more serious aspect to things, even though it still looked like the comic, because that's how you keep the, I guess, the spirit alive from it. You can't like stray too far to one side or the other, because then you're not keeping true to the original spirit. But the cartoon, I think, is the best predecessor to X-Men over any of the movies. Like it's the comics and then it's the cartoon.
I agree. I think and I like what you said about not talking down to the audience. I mean, comics was so good at that. Like I talk about that all the time, how like comics taught me new words. You know what I'm saying? Like it was never for like you to stay into like a really young kid mind. It was supposed to, push you towards thinking about new concepts, new words, new policy. I mean, Excelsior, like what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like from the moment any of us first heard that, we didn't know anything about it. So it's one of those things that comics were always really good at that. And so I really love that we're going to get to talk about something a little different this time. We get to talk about the making of it instead of the series. But before we get into that, let's fast forward and ask you about X-Men 97. Um, do you think, I mean, this is a controversial take if you got it in you, but do you think this show is in one season is better than what the animated series was able to do from 92 to 96?
It, man, 97 is better, right? It's crazy to say that in one season it's better, but it's advanced, it's evolved, it's in the time that we're in now. So like the art style, the writing, everything has like grown to what we're used to seeing. We go back and look at the original X-Men and we're kind of like looking at it with it's double-sided. Like we looking at it with rose-colored glasses, like, oh man, we love this. But at the same time, our eyes are like, hey, this is kind of like grainy, It's like going back and playing like old video games, So it's like we love it, but this is updated for us now. But that don't take away from like the great story arcs that was in the original animated series. Like they're not about to redo the Phoenix saga in 97, because we're moving forward. So we still got those things to look back on. And, if you got kids and kids are getting older, you want to show them that stuff to be like, hey, this is what I grew up on. But I just wish that the season was longer of 97. I'll say that. Like the original X-Men seasons was long. You might be getting 13 episodes. You might get 26 episodes, like something like that, And it's like, 10 episodes, man. We thirsty for X-Men right now. Like,
Yo, for real. We definitely need more, man. Like season 1 was 13, season 2 was 13, season 3 also. Like they were in the past giving you a lot more than they did now. But who's to say, like once you get to 10, 12, and 15, like who's to say, like it might not have stayed as interesting, like they would have more filler. We talked about it now. There's arguably only one filler episode in the 10 that they gave us, and
half
that was
a filler episode.
It was half. Yeah, it wasn't even a full episode.
If you think about it, it's more like a palate cleanser. Like filler is if they had to like step away for a couple weeks or something like that. Like I don't know.
Right. No, yeah, it's not like I joke about like Dragon Ball being like, yo, they could have one episode where they were just walking the whole time, like trying to get somewhere. You know what I mean? Like you don't actually get to the thing. You're just like trying to get there. So they didn't do episodes like that where it's like, oh man, we got to find our way over there, and like let's do a whole episode about the long walk. You know,
Like next time on Dragon Ball Z, still probably like gives people like no nightmares.
right. So with bitch and Piccolo learning to drive, like we know what filler looks like, but they, you know, even when like you said, even when they gave us not necessarily storyline driven stuff, it was more of a palate cleanse to be like, yo, the rest of this is gonna be real serious. So hold on to your hats, relax a little bit, and then we can get into it.
And let me add this. Like, I know that like people been like shitting on Marvel for a minute. Marvel been fucking up for a little bit and stuff like that. And ever since like Endgame and stuff like that, like people just been thirsty for like a what I want to say, like an extinction level event. And that's also what this delivered. Like the story was good, but it was also high stakes like through the whole thing. Like what was it, the second or third episode where shit jumped off? So like from the third episode all the way to 10. So you got like 4 or 5 episodes that you just like on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going on. And I think people are really appreciative of that, because even though everything don't have to be that, it's just that I think not X-Men, but Marvel has kind of been like floundering, trying to figure out where they're going to go, what's going to be the next big bad, what's going to be the next big event. And this just took care of that easily. Like animated series, no movies, no nothing. We ain't even got the X-Men casted in real life properties right now. But
right, I like that. I think they did exactly what they needed to do. I think that's why animation, like we talk about DC, like, man, why can't the movies be as dope as the DC animation? But you don't have that pressure. You know, you can give exactly what you want without having a big name A-list Hollywood guy to have to worry about, are we killing him off, or are we making him look weak or whatever, or not giving him enough screen time, you know? So without all the pressure, you can just create. And they knocked it out the park, man. So I was really looking forward to seeing this assembled. So I want to jump into it, but I want to ask, because apparently they've been doing these a while, and I've never watched any of these assembled. So
I've watched a couple. I've watched a couple. It's your standard, you know, behind the scenes thing. You know, they omit a lot of stuff. Like, I don't know if you jumping right into our source today. There was no mention of Bodemire.
No, wait, hold on. Okay, well, I'm talking about what typically these shows kind of print.
Oh, they talk about the casting process, getting the effects together. If it's like a movie, like the tone of a TV show. Like the last one I saw was for I want to say when it was Winter Soldier and Captain America, the TV show that they did, and it was Falcon. So it was pretty good. Like they give you a background of kind of like what direction they were going, you know, like stuff of the set. But the one that we got treated to this week or released recently, it's a little bit more of like a reunion compared to the other ones. The other ones was kind of like, oh, we wanted to create this, and then, you know, they brought in the cast. But, you know, as with X-Men 97, it was a lot of legacy people, so it was like catching you up on them and how happy they are to be back and all that stuff.
I think I did want to see that, so I think that what they gave us was good. So we can jump right into it. But the one I did watch one assembled, and it was the very first one. It was the making of WandaVision.
Yep,
and I actually enjoyed that one. And one thing I learned from that is that they actually did film in front of a live studio audience for the first episode. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like I thought it was just like laugh tracks and faking it, but they wanted to really capture that real feeling. So like I wouldn't have known that if I didn't watch. So I will say, if you want to hear those inside stories, but they, you know, they're gonna give you surface level. They're not really gonna dig too deep. But if you want some inside stories, I respect the assembled joint. So someone on my Instagram was like, man, you gotta review this. If you're doing an X-Men 97 pod, you got to talk about assembled X-Men 97. I was like, all right. So I watched it on the plane, and then I watched it some more this morning, and I got through it. But first, let's actually kick off the show like we normally are supposed to do. Mega Ran Marcos, X-Men 97 podcast, X-Pod 97, and it's officially on right now. X-Men 97 revisits the iconic era of the 1990s as the X-Men, a band of mutants who use their uncanny gifts to protect a world that hates and fears them, are challenged like never before, forced to face a dangerous and unexpected new future.
The X-Pod 97 will be chronically oh man, I messed up my own script here.
Dang, Marcos. You have one line. Come on now.
We'll basically be documenting every week. Since we're out of the season, I'm gonna switch it up. This week, we're gonna document how it is to live without X-Men 97. To you, my X-Pod.
Here we are. Yeah, life after X-Men. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I ain't gonna lie. Without looking for it's a Wednesday, and without having an episode to look forward to, it's tough, man. I will say. Teek, so I want to get your take on this. You talked about Fallout and how much you like that, and I think actually it was when you mentioned it. That's when I started watching it, and I really love it. Fallout gives you every episode at once, and X-Men 97 was weekly. What do you like? Do you like being able to binge, or you like waiting week to week?
I feel like if X-Men would have dropped it all at once, we'd have ate that shit up. And I don't know if we'd have been talking about it as long as we'd have been talking about it, how long it's been in the zeitgeist right now. But the Fallout episodes were longer. So I do appreciate that it was all dropped at once, because I didn't watch it all at once because they were hour-long episodes. But I could go and watch it when I wanted to.
Yep.
So, it's pros and cons. I think if the X-Men episodes would have been longer, not saying that people wouldn't have watched it all at once, but I'm just saying longer seasons or longer episodes, you can, don't have to stream it all at once.
Exactly. I think, like you said, I think the important thing, and I think Tim said it in our chat too, like, man, when something drops every week, they got a new GIF ready on Twitter. It's a new hashtag, it's a new conversation. Like, it's constantly in the zeitgeist, it's in the conversation. But when something just hits real quick, blah, one person's talking about episode 1, one person's talking about episode 10, and then 2 weeks from now, it could be a wrap. Like, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
So what I will say, though, is that, like you said, I didn't play Fallout, right? Did you play Fallout?
Nope, never played it.
So
Me either.
The community of people that played Fallout, though, we don't know how big or how long they've been talking about Fallout while the season's been going on, because I've been seeing, like, watching Fallout made me dive into Fallout lore, even though I haven't played the game. So I've been looking at a bunch of YouTube videos about people talking about Fallout. So we have to, I tend to forget that. And I think a lot of us do that in our circle. We'd be like, oh, everybody does and watches what we watch in our circle. But the world
they
is
don't.
bigger.
No, that's true. It's bigger than our circle. That's a good point. So the Fallout community has probably been, like you said, talking about it nonstop, going back, picking up little pieces in here and there. So that's a good point. I like that. All right, so let's jump right into it. Marvel Studios assembled. Now, this is I don't know if all these ones are long, but this is long. It's over an hour. And I love the fact that they sit down with the entire cast. So what I did was not only the entire cast, but like a lot of the OGs that are still around or able to be found.
There's a couple of omissions, though. A couple of people.
There are some omissions. I want to start with the people I was most happy to see, because Teek, you wearing the hat of the X-Men the animated series, and those folks, there's a husband and wife. Gosh, I done forgot their name, but I gotta get to it. The husband and wife that started the X-Men the animated series and that produced it have been for years on Twitter, just showing love and giving everybody their props about like creating it and helping and all that stuff. And like, they wrote a book, which is real dope. They sent us some hats. I got a hat as well. So they have been so about it that we never knew. Eric and Julia.
That's Julia and Eric, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Eric and Julia Lewald were the head writers. So they wrote the entire show, and and didn't really expect much from it, and then it wound up blowing up. And I love that they got them in there to talk, because they've been waving the flag for the longest, man. Like, I can remember before X-Men the anime series came to Disney Plus, way before that, they were like pushing for this show to come back. And they said they got a call, and they didn't even believe it, and they waited till the end to call them, which I thought was kind of cool. They weren't like, oh, we're thinking about doing it. It was just like, yo, it's happening. And they're like, oh, okay, it's actually happening. And I like that they involved them. So I'm gonna say number one is, I'm so glad that Eric and Julia are involved in the process. And they were like, yo, they gave the blessing just like Stan Lee gave the blessing to them back in the day. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, and I still got y'all hat, so I appreciate that.
Still rocking the previously on X-Men hat. I got the book on my coffee table. Man, they're amazing people. And in fact, I'm gonna try to get them on the pod soon. So we'll be in touch. And there are X-Men TAS on Twitter. Please follow them for some insights on the show. So that's I pick a good. And Marcos, you've been chomping at the bit about a bad, or at least
no. It wasn't necessarily a bad, and it's like, it's not. I'm not talking about Bo. I'm talking about our good friend that did the podcast with his Sunspot. He wasn't one of the featured individuals.
He wasn't in there. Like, that was interesting. I don't know. Maybe he was busy. He's doing other jobs.
I think it might have been because he was like a recurring guest, not a main cast as of yet. But it was kind of sad. I wasn't like,
he's in like every episode. What you mean? Like, how is he not a cast member?
But is he part of the intro?
He's not. He's not listed as an X-Men in the intro. He's not.
Yo, you're right. He's not. Dang,
so that's why.
Okay.
And Marcos might be right about that, because I think everybody who they talked to was X-Men outfitted X-Men. Like,
yeah. Including and Bastion wasn't even there either, but his schedule is a little bit crazier than everybody else's. But I love the fact that I completely forgot the voice actors that were on here. A homeboy from what's it called? Kung Fu: The Legend Continues.
Yo, right?
Yeah, I was like, wait, I know that guy. I was like,
yo. That's funny, because like
he played two different voices in the show.
Yeah, he did two different voices.
Now he playing somebody different.
That's pretty cool to come back and be like, oh no, your voice sounds a little more gruff now. You should play. You should play him now. So now you play Cable, and he totally kills the Josh Brolin type Cable from the Deadpool movie. Like, he completely nails it. So it's hard to imagine. Like, that was what Gambit was it? In the original, and then he became Cable. So it kind of worked out that way. So I feel like they probably brought back the old cast to maybe give them first dibs. Like, all right, if y'all want these characters, audition for them, and we'll see what we can do. And then as we got to move things around, they probably did it that way, which is cool. I respect that.
But it was
Wolverine's voice sound a little bit older, a little bit more gruffled, but I'm pretty sure that he had first dibs on that. He ain't lose a step when it came to that.
Oh yeah, shout out Cal Dodd. Yeah, he's still killing it. And now it makes me think, like, we kept talking about how Wolverine has a smaller role in this one, but maybe that's why they're like, all right, he's older, he's more gruff, like, we'll use him a little more sparingly. But I liked how Cal said, like, in the originals, they used to sit in the same room to record, and how, like, his job was just to cut everybody off. He'd just be like, shut up. I want to, when do we get to some slicing? Something like that. So, like, it got to the point where they were like, all right, man, like, like, you got to cut, you just cutting everybody off.
Well, because you got to think, after enough times of him doing that, they probably got enough sound bites. So I'd just be saving those and then just dropping them in episodes when needed, right?
Yeah. But there's some cast members that you honestly could not have made the show without, like Lenore and Holly Cho, and of course Mr. Dodd. Like, they're people that they're personify the voice. And of course they have George Buza, who plays Beast. Did you guys catch his story when he was talking about he was in the airport, and the guy, in Canada, when you come into the States, when you're leaving Canada, you got to state your purpose. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to convention." And he's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, I'm a guest." And he's like, "Guest for what?" And he's like, "Well, I'm the voice of Beast." And the guy, whatever the Canadian equivalent of TSA, started just singing the anthem. Like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was gonna be like, "Yo, do some Beast lines. Go say
Do a
stars and
backflip.
garters. Do a backflip. Yo, reprogram my computer. Yo,
Ricochet, do a backflip.
do a flip. Yo, I think, man, it's really cool to see them cats, like, you know, still enjoying the role for sure. We didn't mention Allison Steele Smith, the voice of Storm. And
Yes.
I love that she's like straight theater, straight Shakespeare.
That's great.
Oh, she's like, "Oh, I could do a queen, no problem." Like her, like voice, her animation, her mannerisms, so on point. It's like the perfect storm. Like you can't possibly come and bring Halle Berry in. Think about this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of wild to think. That just tells you the whole mentality that goes into booking a TV like situation, like a cartoon versus a movie, where you're like, "Yo, I want people from the theater. I want people that can emote." And then when it comes down to the movie, you're like, "Yo, I want A-list Hollywood.
Like
I need people who look good, like who look this way." You know,
You
so
know
it's
what?
a whole different booking process.
Now that we're dabbling on this subject, I honestly think, and you know what, you said something earlier that triggered this thought, and it got brought back. It's like it's tough for you to write for an ensemble cast when they're big names. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, like Superman, the previous Superman, Henry Cavill, he was an actor, but he actually became more famous after he played Superman. And I think it does a disservice to the role when you pick somebody that's already known for something else. I think sometimes you have to let the actor grow. Like Chris Evans arguably was one of the more famous actors that were brought into the MCU, and you know, he killed it. And like Robert Downey Jr. was a famous actor, but he wasn't known for a critical role. Like he was a part of many great movies, but like now you'll be like, "Oh, you're talking about Tony Stark? He's Tony Stark now." Like, you know what I mean? Like it's different than now. It's like, for example, you know how people be fan casting like X-Men and stuff like that. Like they always use famous people. You can't really use famous people. Like you can't really like bring in, like, if the new Wolverine is going to be like Tom Hardy, like how do you write Tom Hardy into a part where he's not the major guy in every freaking scene? You know?
I totally get what you're saying, and I would say that it just takes a good writer to do it, because like when it comes to the Marvel movies, one scene that people always talk about as being a good scene is when all of the Avengers are sitting around drinking and shooting the shit. Like not even doing no superpowered shit. They just being regular people that you know are superheroes, getting to know each other and chilling. So somebody had to write that scene and say, "I'm gonna have all of y'all have some banter." The reason it's hard is because stars are, like you were saying about making sure everybody got the same amount of hits or the same amount of screen time, is once people start splitting up in the movies and you having to go to different people and follow their story or their route. But if you can put everybody together in some scenes and write those scenes good, that's how you make it feel like, oh, these are a family, or these are a team of people that know each other. Or even if you writing it like, oh, they don't really know each other that well right now. Like you can see how they getting on each other's nerves and stuff like that. But you got to show that. You can't just jump into it being a team because y'all don't know each other.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, you can do it. I mean, it's been done. I mean, people argue that Ben Affleck was a decent Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put stars in, but you gotta take the time to gel them with the characters. And
but Ben actually is also a super fan of Batman. But like, you know, for example, if you put like the top 10 guys right now or females, then you mix them up and put them part of X-Men, like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna be like, okay, what's my role?
having the source material or being a fan, like you said, counts. When you fan casting, you don't know if those people like something or whatever. You're just like, oh, well, he kind of looks like Wolverine. He could be Wolverine. This person could be Cyclops. And then, yeah, you get those people together and they don't have no chemistry. So that could be the issue.
No, that's a good point.
I wanted to touch on you talking about Storm because I wanted to say watching the Assembled, her part of it was real good because it made me realize a couple things. One of them, how back when people were voicing the original X-Men cartoon, it was just a gig. These people had other jobs. It was like whatever. She's like, oh, I was booked on Broadway every day. I was doing this when I had time. People was like, yo, I had an hour lunch. I was doing lines, stuff like that. Like it wasn't really important like that. It was just like they didn't know how big it was going to be. It was just another check. Some of them might have liked it, but for real, it was just a job. But now that she came back and she was like, I appreciate this so much more now. Like being here, being in this space, being with these people. And I thought that was dope.
Yeah. Did you catch when they said that everybody was just contracted for 13 episodes? And then before they even got feedback and ratings, they kind of let everybody go after the 13th episode. And then they were like, wait, hold on. We need y'all back.
Yo, that's crazy. Like, how did you not plan? Like, well, maybe this might be a success. It's like, we good. All right, y'all go do your thing. People had jobs they couldn't get out of. They couldn't come back. Like, it was crazy.
It's like that's how TV used to be booked like that before. This is not the first time that happened. Like, there's been pilots where had to be canceled because the person didn't hear back about season 1 being picked up, and then they already committed another TV show, like another movie. Like that's why,
especially X-Men, it was like trash getting that started from the beginning. Like I remember hearing stuff about that where people was like blackmailing people to get this greenlit and like, oh, you want me to do this? I'm not going to do that unless you greenlit this X-Men project I've been working on. Like it was really going down. So they probably was like, yo, it ain't going to go past 13 episodes. We might sell some toys and that's going to be it. People not going to care about this.
Yep. That's so crazy though, to think then, like the difference between then and now, like you said, with this just being just a gig. And then now it's a lifestyle. You play these parts and you're at a Comic-Con probably every weekend for the rest of your life. And stuff like that. It's crazy.
It's funny because now it happens later on in TV. Like, for example, they'll be like, all right, we know this is going to be good, so we're going to sign everybody for 3 seasons. And then season 1 and season 2 are okay. And then season 3 skyrockets. And now
somebody gets famous and then they want to leave, break off. Kind of like The Office or something when Steve Carell left, right? Because he was getting big at that point. He's like, I can't keep doing The Office. I got other shit to do.
And it's like that's when you see shows like shattered. Like it's like, oh man, you had me for 3 years and you could have re-signed me for the low after season 1 or 2, extend me, but y'all waited until I was popping. Now I can't do this. Be like, but this is what you're known for. It's like, I don't know what to tell you.
Now y'all out here feeling like Boys in the Hood with Jeezy left.
Yeah. It's funny, like when you talk about how people left for other things and like how that's basically what actors do, even to this day, if you're not locked down, because they are independent contractors, as we know. So back to a little bit of wrestling talk, where it's like I think that I saw something that might go down in the next year or two, where they're saying that they're getting rid of no compete clauses, like in all businesses, where you can't sign somebody to a non-compete because that's, I don't know, going to be prohibited. So people can literally just walk. They'd be like, oh, you was on DC, but now I'm gonna just go walk to Marvel. Oh, you were in WWE, you could just go walk to AEW. Do you think that could change the game in a positive way? Because it gives people more, places to go, but also in a negative way where that company hiring you still has the right to say no and can be like, you know what? I don't want you if you was just with the ops, you know what I'm saying? So do you think that could affect people even ability to get work in another way?
I think it's going to be good for whatever industry that it truly affects. Like you mentioned wrestling, it's going to have a positive effect because these people can go out and have their continuous income stream go. But you got to understand, just like in every industry, there's only going to be a handful that's going to be up for Like, how much you gonna pay me? They're paying me this here. I'll leave tomorrow to go to you. Like, you know what I mean? And there's
Right,
only
yeah.
gonna be a handful.
I don't
You
think it's
know.
going to be much WWE, WCW stuff where you saw Rick Rude and then you change the channel and then you see Rick Rude, coming out,
Yeah.
giving
It's
the
like,
spoiler. It ain't going to be
Yeah.
nothing like that. But what I think it might be more of is just like bigger talent can go do indie shows. I feel like that's what you're going to see more of. Like Marcos was saying, being able to keep their stream of income going. But you also have to worry about this type of verbiage being put in contracts, the same type of stuff that's in sports contracts. Like, yo, if you go get hurt outside of working here, hey, you gonna get dropped, buddy. So
Yeah, can't help
realize you want to make this money, but if you go do that Canadian destroyer off the ladder for that indie show,
you pull an edge and you break your tibia.
Now you're gonna be off TV for 6 months, not getting this money. So
But I like it because you know what? It opens up something that I felt wrestling has needed since I've been an adult, which is short-term booking. Think about like all like limited TV shows where they come back and it's like, we're gonna give you 10 episodes. Like, imagine if this was a thing where they had short-term deals and people,
like just bringing in a grudge with somebody, right? And they just come in for, like you're saying, 5-10 episodes and then they go.
Yeah, like imagine if we got that back when we wanted the New Day to face the Young Bucks. One of them could have gone back and forth and been like, all right, we did this program. Peace. I'm gonna go back to where you know me from, and then resume regular activity there. I think that's truly gonna be the open door the forbidden door if we think about it, because it's like it allows you to collaborate with more people. Like an example that you were talking about, people being committed, the guy Chris Potter that was what was he? He was the what was his original? He was Gambit, right? Chris, he was Gambit, and he was doing the X-Men show for the same time he was doing what's it called? Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. Like literally, if you go on his Wikipedia, they were on top of each other.
That's wild. And so clearly it wasn't a non-compete, especially a show that they don't think is going to be popular. But when they like go get your money, that's wild that these people worked several jobs. She's on Broadway and then running, getting an extra hour to go do this and that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and now this thing has become, almost a lifestyle. Like, this is the thing you're going to be known for, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. So it's crazy how time has changed the view of comic material and what it's done to people. It's been real dope.
Yeah,
so
man, back then you probably could have voiced for Marvel and DC at the same time because you're just a voice actor. You're not a face. So they wouldn't care. But now they would hit you with that non-compete, like, oh no, you can't be voicing Marvel and DC. I don't care if they're not seeing your face. Like, you gotta pick.
I like how they kept it secretive for the people when they were getting the roles. And the one dude was saying how, like, he started going and Googling everybody else that was a part of it. Like, all right, they got a woman, they got the guy. All right, this dude's doing that, this doing that. And they had to do that just to figure out if it was X-Men, because they never told them. And even Guy, when he was on, you can check our archives for a past episode where we talked to Guy.
That's our guy,
the voice of Sunspot. And he said the same thing. Like, they don't tell you. You're just reading and reading. And then you're like, is it maybe? Like, you call one of your friends maybe that you see on the list and like, what do you think? Is this X-Men? Like, and then you get more excited about it. But them working on this for so many years and trying to keep it secret was it's a real interesting process.
I mean, if you listen to what they said, the guy that plays Beast, I believe, he said that when he went to read, it was just called Project X. They didn't tell him if it was X-Men, but then as soon as he started reading and noticed the names, he was like, this is X-Men. And then, like, apparently everybody else, because, they had different backgrounds, is like, what are you talking about? Like, what is X-Men? I thought
it was funny that the one dude was saying that they let him come back and try again, but was like, hey, take it serious this time, the dude who was voicing Cyclops.
Yeah.
That, like, when you taking these roles are acting like the people that's picking the people, like, they might see something in you. You might not have been the perfect person, but they like, yo, I think this dude can pull it out. I think he got the chops. And they gave him another chance, and he was like, yo, I had to go and then, like, do my research.
Yeah, that was cool. Like that, you don't always get that kind of chance, where it's like, all right, now do it for real. Take this seriously because this is a big deal.
Because of them giving you a second chance, now you part of history. Now,
yeah, like you up there. Speaking of history, the Magneto cat Matthew Waterson, he talked about how the past actor that played Magneto, David Hemlin, had passed away, and he was like, they gave him certain episodes to study, they gave him reads to study, and how he was like, man, this is a lot of pressure to come in and take over for somebody who's passed away, so he had to do a lot of real research and getting into the character, and even like it got a little emotional. He's like, oh, this is dedicated to him and all that, and I thought that was real dope.
But he also said that in doing his research, he was like, he found that him and the previous actor wasn't too dissimilar,
yeah,
both classically trained like actors and stuff like that. So it's like you start seeing like, oh, I guess I don't have to be this person. I didn't have to be the person who read this my whole life. Like,
right.
I can still just go do the research right now. As long as I'm passionate in this role and giving my all, it can still turn out good. And I mean, shit, for somebody who was worried about being Magneto is one of the biggest people in the series.
Facts. A lot of people's favorites in the first season. So, all right, we've gone through the good, and now we must discuss not necessarily the bad, but at least the elephant in the room. There's a large elephant who is not actually in the room on this whole show. I was like, please, y'all gotta bring Bo in at least one time. One comment,
not even a name mention.
Nothing.
Yes, no. Here's my theory. Here's my theory on this. Okay. I think that they filmed this like after most of the episodes were in the can, and they were like, listen, we're gonna do this, and they knew they weren't gonna use Bo, so I think that they had this documentary style where they just asked a bunch of questions and they kind of edited out any mention of Bo because and then kind of like that's how you film these documentaries. You just have the people talking, and then you kind of use what you want to use, and then you kind of control what it is instead of you asking it a straightforward question like, "Hey, how did it feel today?" And you're like, "Well, it felt good," and then you kind of like get them talking. But
so you feel like they didn't talk to Bo, or they just cut everything Bo said?
No, I don't think they used him at all for this. I think that most of the voice actors probably mentioned an anecdote with Bo, and they just edited around it. At least that's my speculation, because everybody was passionate and it didn't feel like there was a guy from Disney like like you shut your mouth like hey no.
There was one point I think they said like, oh, the writers did a great job with this and that, and they never like said him by name, but I think they referred to them maybe once in a while being like, oh man, the show, and like the dude was the showrunner, like he was so involved with everything, and it's kind of wild that there is literally no mention of his name at all. But we know that he got let go before the show started, and I'm sure they recorded this probably before it started, I would say, at least for the most part. I feel like before the show like aired.
And we don't know. We can speculate. For all we know, my man like sat down and just got real blunt about anything during this footage. And it was like, wait, what? Like, we're gonna have to look into your past, homie.
Like, first of all, this is some bull, and they're like, wait, all right, man. And then they got to go back. So we've speculated. We've spent so much time on it, and it's just
I don't even know anymore.
His absence is glaring to the point where it's like Bo DeMayo is not here. So it's like now you got to really think about it again. Like,
I mean,
was it that serious?
Because he's on Twitter and he's still like big.
He's very involved. Like he's dropping hints every week. He's like talking to fans, giving inside information. Like he's so interested in it because it's doing well, so it should be.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna look straight into my camera. Bo, please come on the show. Just tell her. We can talk about anything you want.
Oh, we don't want to give him like a gotcha interview. We just want him to talk. You ain't even got to talk about
You don't got to talk about extra. Just tell us how you feel about the IP, dog.
Just tell the story. You know, just talk about the
I
X-Men.
just hope, whatever the issues is between him and Marvel, hopefully they get it worked out. He did some great writing. It would suck to not have him involved in season 2 unless he's written that far ahead that they fired him and got some season 2 shit out of him already. But hey, the shit was good, man. I'm sure you'll get picked up somewhere else. DC, y'all knocking at his door. Who's trying to get this man writing something, right? What else was you a fan of?
I'm just saying, I don't know about DC. James Gunn is kind of like,
well, he writing a movie. I'm saying they can bring him in and
no,
he's DC.
He's controlling the entire universe, animated and everything. Voice actors are the same actors they're going to be in the movie. It's like it's complete like micromanaging that.
Hey, there's more people that could use a good writer. I mean, I remember when that what was that Vin Diesel comic book movie that came out that was shit. Where he was
you talking about the last witch person?
Vin Diesel?
No, not the Witcher. It was a movie where he was like he could get shot up and he couldn't get killed because he was like had fucking the Iron Man shit inside his blood where it would make his body parts come back together.
I know you're talking about. It was a movie that came out during the pandemic.
Man, I used to read that comic and that movie was shit.
I mean, it was a pandemic movie. It got released. It was one of them. Like they were like, "Oh man, we're gonna do this for the love and release this at home." And it was like, "Nah, brother, you." They helped you. The pandemic helped you, brother. Ain't nobody needed. It's something red something. I know you're talking about. I saw the movie.
It was called Bloodshot.
Oh wow, I've literally never heard of this. That's crazy. Must have slipped through during the pandemic. But honestly, I thought they did a great job with this, but it's just, to me, that's a glaring hole in this whole thing. It's like, yo, not even like a quick chat with him. Like, either something's gonna come out that's really bad, or maybe he just was really hard to work with, or there's an NDA on both sides, and we'll hear it at some point.
We don't even know. It might be something simple that they were like, "Hey, can you do this for the love? Take a pay cut or something?" Or we need
that. Yeah, that's a good point. They could have just been like, "Hey, can you come in?" And he'd be like, "I don't work there. No." Like, what you mean? Like, I would be the same way. Like, I don't work for y'all. Like, you fired me. So that's actually what happened. He's been this has been nominated for an Emmy. Episode 5 has, and they asked him on Twitter, Bo, like, will you go? And he's like, no, I don't work there. Like, so I totally get it. And it's like, dang, you about to win an Emmy, you ain't gonna go to the Emmys. But
that's gonna be you know what? And I'm sure they'll probably work with the Emmys to make that one of those commercial awards. You know how they come back and then be like, oh, they're in the commercial break, so and so won, because it's gonna be awkward if anybody except Bo goes up there. It's gonna be like,
I mean, unless Bo is there and then get escorted off stage by the police like Killer Mike or some shit. Like,
yo, he could. I would have to go. I'm sorry. If I wrote something dope and I get nominated, I'm going. I don't know. Teek, I would go. Are you going? If you wrote something fire and got fired from it, and then it got nominated, would you go to the awards?
Just to sit in the crowd, or are they going to bring me on stage?
If you win, I would think you got to get on stage.
If they're gonna include me with the people on stage, then I'll go. I ain't trying to walk up on stage like Lil Mama, and then forever they looking at me like, why does fool walk on stage?
Yeah, my name on this thing. My name is on this award. That ain't a Lil Mama moment. That's like
first of all, if I would do it,
they're just sitting in the crowd and then everybody on stage and then the camera pan to you in the audience, like still sitting in the crowd.
You sitting there like.
I would legit wear clothing that like has a QR code to my next project or something. Like
I would go, bro. Like, how many times you gonna get an Emmy in your life? Like, I don't know. Like, I would take that. And
then again, we don't even know. He could have came in one day to set or whatever.
What if they ain't got enough for you? They'd be like, "Oh man, we didn't know you was coming. We only got this many Emmys."
Yo, first of all, you gonna get there. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we don't have no seat. I'm sorry, man. You gotta sit. You gotta sit in the broom closet and just chill for a minute." Like, I'm sorry, we didn't know because we only got tickets for employees, and
But
you
like,
ain't an employee.
what if like, you know what? And I'm sorry if I'm gonna make light of this. What if it's something crazy that he walked into the office before he got let go, and like somebody like it was like a fist fight, like he threw hands with somebody, like you don't know. It's like you can speculate anything. Somebody could have ate his lunch, and he could have been out there like Sam Jackson, like, who the fuck ate my lunch?
Man, didn't they say Jared Leto was like mailing people like used condoms and dead rats and shit when he was playing the Joker, like to his to his to the other people in the movie, like because he was in character and trying to be crazy.
Character.
Like
Yeah,
if he could
that's
do
wild.
stuff like that, man, I can only imagine what this guy had to do to get let go. Like obviously we can only imagine. We're not gonna know until until he break the silence, break the NDA, and tweet some stuff on Twitter.
Or Disney, the mouse goes rogue and they do a disassembled special just on Bo. Like, wait, what? We're airing everything out.
So the question is, and I'll let it go on this. If he did something so awful and egregious that maybe Disney's like, dang, if they find out that this dude did this, they may not even want to watch our show. Like, what if it's something that bad where it's like, all right, if this comes out, it could tank the show. Like, so the question is there something so bad that could make you just not even want to watch the show?
Unless he's a sociopath, I don't think there's something that he did that's that egregious, because you can't be out the way he is in the crowd, being around people, enjoying the love and being on X and all this and just out there promoting yourself and being, for you to know like something that
have you met Diddy?
Yeah, but Diddy had some assurance that it wasn't going to come out. So I don't know, man. Like, yeah, there's a multiple reasons why I wouldn't watch if it was something crazy. But I want to assume that you're smart enough. Like, yo, just shut your mouth, collect the paycheck that they already paid you, and just stay home. Like, you ain't got to be all up in people's faces like Homelander when he's like, like, they like
he's
it.
definitely like sucking up the adoration, like, for sure. Like, he's enjoying that. So it's like, can you get both? Can you have both? And so he's outside, he's making appearances, he's on Twitter loud about his involvement. So it's like, what if, like, is there something? So there's nothing that bad that could like tank the show, you think?
No, I think there is. I said, yeah, I believe that if he
Okay.
did something that was like, it would have to be like, I just don't even want to say it on the pod.
Just something egregious. Egregious.
I don't even want to connect his name.
Right. We get it. Yeah, it would have to be something.
It would have to be
awful.
That level of people who were stars in your eyes and they did something that they're no longer a star in your eyes. That's what I'm saying. He would have to do that type of stuff for it to be like, nah, man, we can't mess with you no more. But he could also just be working on his own project as well. Like, he could be spending all of this admiration that he's getting, all of this fan support, all of something, and be like, yo, get my book, get my new project. Oh, I'm doing a crowdfunded project. I want y'all to support me. Like, there's a reason why once your name is out there, you want to keep your name circulating. And
but do you think if he had a project already, he would have dropped it? Because I feel like that window.
Maybe he's waiting until all the X-Men stuff.
He's probably in a not necessarily a non-compete or something where it's like, this is the show. The show during the life of the show, you can't pop off another show. Like, so I could probably understand that he's. But if we know a little bit about him, he left The Witcher because of like some really bad relationship issues there. Like, they said he was just real hard to work with. So if it's just that where he's just a real jerk to everybody and they don't like him at the end of the day, I don't think that's enough to make you not want to watch.
I mean, that's a thin line. Could he be a jerk, or he could be somebody that's passionate about what he's bringing to the world? Like, he
could have ADHD. So, like, I just started talking to some people, and I'm gonna go get checked about it. I'm realizing I might have ADHD, and like, when you have ADHD, like, you can be passionate and not really know how to deal with people, right? Like he can be a great writer, smart, genius as far as the X-Men stuff go, and then like not know how to direct people, not know how to talk people, and they just like like we can't have him around here because he's too volatile, he's too hostile when somebody not agreeing with him or when they're not getting their way, so
that's a good point. So it could just be interpersonal social issues that people can't deal with, but we'll see. Maybe we'll see at some point. But anyway, Bo, we love to have you on the pod. I'm just saying, it would be great to talk to you. You ain't got to be about any of this. It's about the great work you did on the show.
This ain't about Bo, but this is about somebody that we didn't mention yet, and I do want to shout him out. He's the director, Chase Conley.
Yes.
So I was already, this is crazy, I was already following Chase on Instagram because Chase used to do Trill League, if y'all remember that, which was the spinoff they was doing of the Black DC superheroes that was just on Instagram. Like he would be drawing the Black Nightwing and the Black Robin and stuff like that. Like he was doing all of that. And then he got picked up on like Teen Titans and stuff. So I got his Instagram up right now. It says he's done Kippo on Netflix. He's been involved with Boondocks. He's been involved with Spider-Man, Black Dynamite, Sonic 2, Teen Titans.
Wow.
As well as working on X-Men. And this all started from just drawing and doing stuff on Instagram.
And he's a young brother that's doing his thing, man. Like I got to give him some salute on that. The director of X-Men 97 is a young black man. So that's beautiful. That's dope.
And he was just chilling with Rogue and my man Larry Houston, who we got to also give love. I love the fact that
gets his flowers. That dude is super dope.
Like he was like, I was the only one that knew really about X-Men, but we had good writers, so it worked out. I knew a lot. They didn't know a lot. They didn't know a lot, so we made it work together. So
yeah, I liked how Larry Houston was talking about drawing the intro video, which is so epic. And hey, he's like, man, I had like a day to do that, And originally it was 2 minutes, and they chopped some stuff out, and I didn't have no music to write to or anything, and like just how that came together is fire. Like he was like, the theme we know was like what, the fourth or fifth one, so it's real cool to see like the process. So despite the only real critique I have is outside of not having Bo is like they really didn't get into a lot of the animation process. I felt like they talk about like a couple times being like making these big anime style moments and things like that, so that was cool, but they didn't like really get into like, oh, here's a concept that we threw away that we didn't use, but it's Marvel. So
I think they use a subcontractor, and that might be the thing. But he's Chase Conley, going back to that, he's doing the con circuit, so it might be somebody that we could talk to person.
Yeah, I know he's gonna be at DreamCon, so hopefully he'll be at BlurryCon or something as well. But man, it's just dope to see see people of color out here doing amazing things and starting from one place and then working their way up, and it just shows us that it's possible, man. Like you create cool content, and you got a passion for it, and then somebody just sees you, and then
some passion and some drive, right? Like he had to keep on doing that stuff. That was like his series, his online comic series that he was doing on Instagram or whatever. So like you got to keep doing that, keep posting it, knowing that you're probably not getting the engagement, or you might be getting the engagement, but what is it doing for you? You're doing it for the love, right? You might be selling some prints, some stuff like that, but you got to keep doing it until shit crack, right?
Yes,
like,
indeed.
Shit, we definitely know that everything that we do is like shit, the grace of God. Like we just passionate about stuff and we try to make it happen, and then things happen. And every day I'd be like, man, how did I get in a situation where stuff is happening?
That's it, man. Put yourself out there, y'all. That is a great message. So Teek Hall, I need you to put yourself out there. Put yourself over. Tell us what you got going on, what's out right now, what's coming next, and where people can find you.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Teek_Hall. I'm always working on music. I got so many projects that I'm working on right now. I can't even drop names, but I do have a project that's coming out soon with this man next to me, Megaran, and that was the wrong way. I guess it was this finger. Right? But yeah, the 3MB project along with G1 to the rescue. So we already got a 3-pack out, the 3-man dance that's on Megaran's Bandcamp. We have a video out for Break It Down, I guess, or whatever it's called. It's just a Degeneration X flip. I don't think we named it because it's just Break It Down. But but yeah, and then hopefully a lot more that'll be leading up with that. I'm actually, what else am I working on? I'm trying to get into more sync licensing stuff. So I mean, like, if anybody needs music for something, let me know. I'm working with some people to get some sync licensing stuff for some sports teams and some like game coverage. So that's dope. Just trying to expand my music stuff into other lanes because hey man, you got to be doing a bunch of different stuff. Can't just stay in one lane the whole time because eventually it's gonna get a traffic jam. So got to be able to maneuver and switch lane to lane. So I'm trying to get into some sync licensing stuff. This X-Men stuff definitely boosted me more of wanting to get into some voice acting stuff. I just don't even know where to start with that. But shit, man, we definitely got to get into doing some voice acting.
And also,
and it also like with rapping or whatever, when they was behind the mic, like when they be doing the voice acting, like, and they be doing like the movements, like Wolverine is like doing the claws when he's doing it and stuff like that. Like they getting into those characters, and that's dope too. They ain't just standing there reading the lines. Like you can't just read it; you got to feel it. So
gotta feel it.
If you're doing music, when you're behind the mic, don't be afraid to be moving around, feeling it and stuff like that. If you got a bunch of chains on, take them off so they ain't jangling. Unless you like that in the song, unless you want to hear the jangling. But
jangling.
But but yeah, man, just always feel it. And if you ain't feeling it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Like if you in the studio and you got the paper you reading or your phone and you just reading it and you ain't bobbing to the rhythm or got no feeling, you might just be doing it. So just make sure that whatever you're doing it with passion and feeling, just like the creators of X-Men did. Wow.
And hopefully, since you guys mentioned 3MB, we get G1 if we want to break down the musical soundtrack of X-Men 97, which is also a banger.
So y'all can talk about how they stole that whatever you want from me.
That's funny. I just posted that. Yeah, man. Shout out to Ron Wasserman who did that theme, who also did Power Rangers. He done some epic music. So, but yeah, maybe everybody has something in the back of their mind when they're creating. So it just happens sometimes, and
Power Rangers too. That's also a jam.
Yeah, man. He got some bops. He's a legend.
If you find old pictures of him, you can tell this man just puts out bangers.
He's also somebody I wouldn't mind talking to, man, because he's got some stories, man. He wrote a lot of epic music, Ron Wasserman. So yeah, man. So that is our X-Pod 97 for this week. We are your hosts. I'm Mega Ran. That's Marcos down there, and our special guest Teek Hall. Make sure you're following him everywhere. And look out for the 3MB project. And you can get some merch. We got X-Pod merchandise right now. You can go to our tinyurl.com/Xpod97 merch. We got shirts. We got stickers. Wait, I think I got my sticker in the mail. Hold on.
So this shirt that I got on is not a X-Man Pod shirt, but this is Roosevelt's. Let me shout them out. I got the Savage Land Wolverine.
Shout out to Roosevelt's. They gave me this one too. They got
yep. I wore one of my pieces that they sent out last episode. That's out now.
Okay. Nice. All right. Episode 12 is out with our boy Steve Wright. And this concludes episode 13 of X-Pod 97. Get your stickers, get you a mug,
sticker,
a shirt, mug, whatever you like for your family or something. Yeah. All right. I'm Mega Ran, that's Marcos, and this is X-Pod 97. And we out.
13.
Peace.
Yes. Peace. See you next week. Oh, shout out to Geekscape Network for always holding us down. And we'll see you on the road. Deuces.
Later.
All right. Let me hit some ending music just to.
Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the X-Pod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya next time.
All right. Okay, we are done, y'all.